currently we don't sleep because everybody is saying we had over 100 million, and you say what is 100 million really? But what about when we go for loans and they buy ambulances, then they buy relatives, constructing some abandoned victims from the site? Why don't we mention that as well? Yes. I know that in other economies actually capital development is actually given to members of parliament to ensure that at least they move. And I think let them do more to MPs so that we can actually perform. You see, an ATM could be very far, but the member of parliament is the first instant ATM that everybody will approach. Actually, we left our sleep a long time ago. And all the time, by the time I leave here, I showed you my missed call, and I give you the call back. No phone is saying something, but every phone is saying, wow, can you send it, please? Can you do this? So that is just a small incentive, ladies and gentlemen. But I think what is important is that we should move and handle the key issues. Budget appropriation for road safety is quite crucial.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
The parliamentarian as well. When President was attending some prayers at the Grace the King, he was mentioning that whenever someone dies, we say that God has called him. Does God want Africans only or Ugandans only? And Timothy also challenged me in the coast when we were coming back from our annual retreat. Why do we always say that that's God's wish whenever someone dies? Okay, Honorable Byakatonda, to pick up, you are a Labour MP, and I myself, I forced a company to use MD's car to transport a worker whose hand was lost by the machine, that is Shomoko. So, do we really need a pickup or we need ambulances? That is my question. Thank you.
Okay. I received it on my account. But what I did, I added on about 200 million to buy 2 double cabins to help the workers in the country. So I'm still in my old car. So when you hear the man has got an accident, maybe because of that old car. Thank you, moderator and the participants. One thing I would like to mention before I divulge into the questions is that I think this is a very important forum. And I think we need to have regular engagements such that we can have key takeaways. And as a country, I think, you see, people tend to mistake, to imagine maybe the MPs know everything. Unless you tell us most of these things, we may not actually know. But I want to mention that the Parliamentary Forum on Road Safety has open doors and always available to receive views. And most of these issues of funding, let's do it during the budget framework paper cycle. So that issues can actually get into the mainstream. That when we do that, we shall achieve a lot. And Mr. Mujuni was talking of drivers of MPs and the deserts among the senior people and politicians. I think what happened is that when I go to politics and I come, I either choose my campaign managers to drive me or the son of my auntie and that kind of stuff. There is no clear-cut criteria. But what's important now is maybe we should actually encourage people to have an aspect of maybe defensive driving. So that is actually tested. And then the other thing is that even payment depends on your social contract with the person you have actually employed. But drivers and cyclists are organized under a union called the Drivers and Cyclists Union. We encourage that actually come together, and then we can actually help the concerns. This would help us really move out with certain basics. But suffice to mention, the issue of mindset is also very key in ensuring that we change and look at road fatalities as a very big challenge. Then somebody said God calls Africans or Ugandans. This is quite true, but I think the purchase of these pickups per se was demand driven. We need to organize the workers in the country. And you know, it is challenging when another MP buys an ambulance, they say, you only want dead people. Why don't you really look at maybe another economic program? Where do you buy an ambulance? You want us to die. So you may wonder whether you should now buy coffins or do what. I think that is subject to discussions. Then the other one is Mr. Kizito. The government is actually working even now. But the challenge is that when you go to cities like Nairobi, when you go to cities like Pretoria in South Africa, you may not see a border. But here I think we are saying, maybe that's what has managed us. Most of this sector is employing so many people. But that's important. How do we regulate it? Even recently, His Excellency has told you maybe the challenge has been you are getting high-load motorcycles and puts you on pressure so that you want to ride and go there and make money very fast. That's why I was introduced that I think you should actually form circles and get low motorcycle loans. All these are avenues that are trying to ensure that at least you build the capacity and ensure that you reduce some fatalities, and then you should have a take home. So the government is actually working quite well, and we must ensure that at least we cooperate and work within the frameworks, then everything will be on board. The issue of how government vehicles are breaking rules and regulations, we are equal. We are equal in the law and the eyes of God. So I think let's ensure that at least we work together. If you are going to wake up and you want to be there very early, me, the practice is that when I want to be in office early, I leave my house at 6 and I will be in office by 7. By the time people are juggling in traffic, I've already passed. Yeah, I think that's another way. But of course, that's an area which has even come on the floor of Parliament, and we know the people who have right of way and that kind of stuff. So members, I would encourage that really we need to have this forum so that these views are actually picked regularly. Let's have a platform of forum where we can engage regularly. It can be a WhatsApp group, it can be a what, it can be a website. Otherwise, it is so far so good, and I want to thank the development partner because we have realized of budget support, and then as we enhance, we look at avenues and strategies to enhance our budget. But I think it is important that we bring views regularly. And let's identify the gaps in the regulation, in the laws that we need to fill. All this can be done. We shall achieve a lot. I thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Owen Hakim. Reading through this guide here, when you go on acronyms, I want to think these are partners in road safety objectives or road safety goals we want to achieve. My question to the CSBAG representative and the panelists and the parliamentarian, how can we bring these voices, can work together to bring these voices together to actualize the road safety policy, link them to budget so that we have them beyond paperwork and have them on road. This will take your leadership as a parliamentarian to, I see it's here, there are 22. This is already a powerful force if we combine them together. How can you mobilize us to work together to amplify road safety in this country? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm known by the name Akulu Roscovia Priscilla. I'm one of the border riders. My stage is at Nkrumah, and also another stage is also at Nakasero. I'm one of the chairperson at Nakasero stage, the border stage for ladies only. Me, I have few questions. On what I experience on the road as a rider. Some of us here, we may be talking, but we don't see what is on the ground. Border borders has become a problem. Point number one, going to the police officers. I don't say they are not doing their job, but they are performing. But only what I was requesting, there is the arrest, which is normally done on the road, permit and whatever. I think if they would do this in this way, that these police officers who arrest the borders, who don't have the requirements on the roads, if they could put on the civilian, because with the border, if they see any police officer just standing, they know that, there is a problem in front there. That is why you see them crossing this side, crossing the other side. But if they're in civilian uniform, they'll just come and they say, Sebo, why are you not on the element? They will not have moving just like that. Then secondly, for the traffic lights, one day I carried the traffic officer. It was at night time at around 9. I was taking him to Naguru police station. But when we reached Ginger Road police traffic lights, I asked him, are we supposed to move with this group who are crossing or we wait for the light? What he told me, and he was right, he told me that no, if you see your colleagues moving, you move with them. Because if this vehicle sets, they move in a high speed, they can easily knock you. But if you're in the group, they cannot knock you. And of which what he told me, he was right. One day I was going to be knocked at Kabusu because of waiting for the traffic light to set. One of the vehicle, it was carrying Matoke, just pushed me like this and brought me like this because my speed was not at the speed of the what? Of the vehicle. So at times they blame borders, but we are also trying. Since in the business we are many, and we are also surviving for the fittest. Like me, I could not be sitting on a border that I'm going to ride. I'm looking for money, and there's no way I can educate my children if I don't look for that money. No one will give me money when I'm seated. So you see anything that can fit for you, that can earn a living. So, for the traffic police, who normally calls the vehicles, like for the Jeep, how the Mr. Pasco said that you find the light as it's saying green, they are not calling it, you are not moving again, they call the one on the red. At times those traffic police, they help us a lot. Because these lights, they give very few minutes. And if they don't call, at least they give time for this side to move. Then you will see just people there struggling, vehicles, what. So if they use that time, even if red, they call at least, because the time those lights takes are very few. So everyone wants what to move. So Munange, traffic police, they are doing great jobs. Not that because the light, they are red, green, what. For us, we are, like for the borders, traffic police is helping us a lot. Because if they call that group to go, and they take like 1 hour or 30 minutes to move, at least reduce the other side, and also they call the other side like that. If not for traffic police to be at that light, I think accidents would be more accidents and even caused by vehicles, not only border. And another thing is on traffic light of Mubaraka. One day was knocked by one of the government vehicles, UG. It was not a border. I was taking a child to the school. I was on the road, the other one was just entering the road. He knocked me. After knocking us down, they pretended, oh, you are wrong, what. I kept quiet, I never answered anything. They took us to the hospital and they dumped us there, me and that child at Bakamai. They just left us. It was a government vehicle. So if you are talking of the accident caused by borders, fine, borders are many because they don't have job, they don't have there's no way they can look for money to survive. So we are becoming many in a business. When you are many, problems becomes problems. But not that we like it to be like that. We are also trying, because we have our organization, we train with also people how to be safe on the road, only that there are those Kabianza which moves at night. Their time is also there, but not during the day. So I think I can end there. Please, thank you so much.
What we saw last year with the executive calling back the budget is a very dangerous business, because it takes away the powers of Parliament to allocate funds the way they want, and that is their role, that's their mandate. When they did it, budget was got back, and that took away, ideally, the powers of Parliament to allocate money. So Parliament has a role, become stronger, and make sure that when you do allocations, based on the priorities that we have seen in the communities, you stand by them. But also we, as citizens, we have a duty to pray. First of all, by holding the duty bearers accountable, but also following the budget, setting priorities. The budget starts from the LC1. In August, the LC1 at your village is supposed to call what we call a priority setting meeting, where the village comes and they gather their priorities, they give the chairman LC1, they go to the parish, they go to the sub-county, There's what we call the sub-county budget conference that happens in September, where the sub-county meets the community members to agree on the priorities of the sub-county. The budget goes to the district. Around October, there is what we call a district budget conference, where the district presents the budget to the district. After that, we have what we call the local government budget consultative meetings that happen at the regional level, 24 meetings. I happened last year to participate in all of them. I was with the Minister of Finance. And we as citizens, if we don't take part in those processes, that is where the priorities are set. And you present these issues at that level during the budget. Normally what we do, we come to do post-mortem. You come in May, you start looking at the ministerial process statement, you say, we don't have enough money. But at that level, you can do nothing. The budget is set. So I would encourage each one of us, let us get interested in the budget process. Take part. When the budget is still at the district level, you can influence, you can put in your priorities at regional level. But now when the budget reaches Parliament, it is almost beyond our control. The executive takes over and we cannot change much. So your question, if I may answer you, hold our duty bearers accountable, but also we must understand the budget and participate in it to influence our priorities, put in what we want. There was another question that was geared towards me and my brother here about linking policies to budgets. And for me, I would still want to stick to the idea of government financing road safety. I agree that we as individuals have a role to play. I have a role to drive safely on the road. But there is a reason why we have more accidents in Uganda and we have less in the UK. There is a reason why everyone in Rwanda on a bike has a helmet and almost everyone in Uganda doesn't have a helmet. That is because that is a general. There is a reason, and it must be a policy issue. It must be an implementation issue. Probably in Rwanda, they are implementing the policies better than Uganda. About 3 months ago, we were meeting, I was meeting people from the government of South Sudan. They had come to benchmark on Uganda's Public Finance Management Act. We have one of the best, but just look at how we are implementing it. So we have policies, we need just to link them to the budget. These policies are all costed. A policy, if it is not costed, is going to be hard to implement. Let us, we as stakeholders, follow up with this costing and make sure they are linked to the budget. I have a challenge. At CSBAG, I take lead on fiscal policy. We have a department of fiscal policy and I'm the head. Whenever I have meetings, because we go to Parliament to discuss the national budget reform paper, and normally I don't present the paper on works and transport because I'd like to get capacity and the CSOs here. If we can link up, work together, develop strong question papers, we can advocate better for such things because normally when I have those meetings, you find I'm the one working that paper, yet we have a very huge, I'm seeing a lot of capacity here that can actually go to Parliament because plus we have those spaces that we can use. We can even go with police. We can go with everyone here to present a good paper to government that can influence such things. So, Mr. Hakim, how I can answer that question is that the people in this room must work together to advocate for better financing for the issues we want.